Hi everyone, today we're going to do harder algebra and quadratic equations. First, we have 3 over x squared plus 3x plus 2 minus 4 over x plus 2. To simplify this expression, the first thing you've got to do is that we need to factorize this quadratic expression. So I'm going to put it into the factor form, the two sets of brackets. And I'm going to put x here, x here. So the quickest way to do this is the last term is 2 and the factor of 2 is 2 and 1 because it's a prime number. I'm going to put 2 and 1 here, and when I add it, I'm going to get 3. When I times it, 2. It's obvious. We just plus both. That's the quickest way you can do with mnemonic expression there. And then 4 over x plus 2. Now, I've got two different denominators here, so I need to make a common denominator. How do I do it? We can't times both of them, but if you look at both of them here, first one we got x plus 2 and then x plus 1. And the second denominator we have x plus 2 only. So I'm going to make my common denominator as x plus 2 and x plus 1. The first term has a perfect common denominator there. We don't have to do anything at all because it's already in the form of common denominator. So I'm going to put that in like that. But the second one, I need extra factor, which is x plus 1. And I'm going to times on the top x plus 1. So that way I have 4 times x plus 1, and then denominator will be the common denominator, x plus 2 and x plus 1. So now it's a lot easier. I'm going to be putting it all in a one term, plus 2, x plus 1. So on the top, 3 minus, I'm going to expand this one. So minus 4 times x, 4x, minus 4 times 1, minus 4. So what I've got on the top here, numerator, I can simplify minus 1 minus 4x. So my final answer is minus 1 minus 4x all over x plus 2 and x plus 1. So that's my answer. Question 2, I need to simplify this expression. If you look at this one, it looks like difference of 2 squares, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that into the format. X plus y plus x minus y. That's my first one. And then I will take away. So x plus y minus x minus y. So that's the second part. I'm going to put it all out of the brackets. X plus y plus x minus y. That's not a problem. This one, you have to be very careful about this. Yes? So x plus y, not a problem. Now this one, be very careful. So it's going to be minus x plus y because minus times minus becomes plus. So let's tie this one up. This will go 0. So I got 2x left on the first one. And then I'm looking at the second one. I have 2y left. So I'm going to put it together, 4xy. And that's my final answer. Okay, number 3, 1 over x squared minus 6x plus 9 divided by 4 over x squared minus 9. You might want to rush into flip the second term because it's a division there. But before we do that, I would like to factorize it first, the denominator. So I'm going to put it into factor form, and I'm going to put x and x there. This one is square number, which is a 3 square is 9. And when you add this together, you'll get 6, but we got negative there. So what I'm going to do is minus here. So what happens then, when I times together, 3 times 3 is 9, but when I add them together as a negative 3 plus negative 3 will give me negative 6x. So that will be my correct factorization there. And then divided by, I'm going to change this one to times, and I will flip the second term. So my denominator goes to my numerator. My numerator becomes my denominator. X squared minus 9 is also difference of two squares, because we can write it like this if you want, and that becomes x plus 3 and x minus 3. So I'm going to put that on here, x minus 3, x minus 3 times x plus 3, x minus 3 all over 4. Now we can cancel x minus 3 and x minus 3. And what we got left on the top is 1 times x plus 3. I can just write x plus 3 there. And then on the denominator part, I got 4. And then I also have x minus 3. Now we can't do any further than this because we can't cancel x plus 3 and x minus 3. So we'll just leave it as it is. So that's my answer. I have two quadratic equations. I'm going to solve them. Not simplifying the expressions anymore. We're going to solve it, meaning I have to find y values for question 4 and 5. Let's have a look at question 4. I've got minus 14y equals minus 8y squared minus 5. I like to have my highest power to my left-hand side. So everything's going to go to left-hand side. So I'm going to move this to my left side. So it becomes 8y squared plus 5 minus 14y equals 0. I'm just going to put it into order. 8y squared minus 14y plus 5 equals 0. Now we need to factorize this. So there was a few ways of factorizing, and I'm going to do the grouping here. I'm going to put it into factor form all over the coefficient of highest degree, which is 8 here. So I'm going to put 8y. I'm sure you remember, I've done it in class, and if you can search it, you will see some of the videos. Now I'm going to times these two together, so then I will get 40. Factors of 40, when you add it together, that'll make 14. It's quite simple, which is 10 and 4. And then we add it together, it'll make negative 14. So I'm going to put negatives in front. So it's going to be negative 10 plus negative 4 will be negative 14. So I'm going to put negative 10, negative 4. Now I'm going to have to take out common factor for each vector. So 8 and 10, I'm going to take 2 as my common factor before y minus 5. And here, 8y minus 4, my common factor will be 4. So there will be 2y minus 1. And then all over 8 equals 0. Now, as you can see, I can just take these out, cancel out, because 2 times 4 is 8. And of course, I can cancel out with my denominator, which is 8. So what I have left here is 4y minus 5, and then 2y minus 1 equals 0. Now, this means this factor can be 0, or this factor can be 0, because one of them has to be 0. When you multiply, the whole thing will be 0. So what I'm going to do is 4y minus 5 equals 0. or 2y minus 1 equals 0. So there's two possibilities. So here I'm going to do plus 5 plus 5. So it's going to be 4y equals 5 and divided by 4. So therefore y equals 5 over 4. Okay, so that's all right. And the second one, I will go plus 1 plus 1, 2y equals 1, I'll divide it by 2, therefore y equals half. So these are my answers. Question 5. I've got minus y brackets 10y plus 3, close the bracket equals minus 4. First thing, I don't like all these negatives. So what I'm going to do is times by -1 for everything. So when I do that, this becomes just y, 10y plus 3. I'm just getting rid of these. Okay, so inside stays the same. Okay, that looks much better. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this one. Okay, expand. If I expand this and this, it'll be 10y squared plus 3y equals 4. So I'm going to put everything onto the left and I'm going to make my right hand side 0. It's easier to factorize like that. Minus 4 equals 0. Okay, so now I've done it with the grouping. I'm going to do the factors of 10. I've got 2 and 5. Let me try 2 and 5. And then factors of 4, 1 and 4 and 2, 2. So I'm going to try 1 and 4. You can try anything to see if it works, because when you add it, you have to have a 3, positive 3. So I'm going to times this together. It'll be 5. I'm going to times this together. 8. Okay, looks pretty positive to me, because 5 and 8, when you take away, you will get 3. And when you times it, -4. So positive 3. So I'm going to make a bigger one positive, smaller one negative. That way, when you add it together, you will get positive 3. And these signs going to be the same. So when you times it together, you will get -4. So it looks good. So what we have to do now, when you write it in a factor form, you write it horizontally this way and this way. So I'm going to write 2y minus 1, 5y plus 4. Again, I'm going to do 2y minus 1 equals 0, or 5y plus 4 equals 0. So one of them has to be 0. So we don't know which one, so we're just going to assume either one of them. So I'm going to move -1 to the other side, becomes 2y equals 1, and divided by 2 on both sides, y equals half. Okay, and then same thing, I'm going to move +4 to the other side, so 5y equals -4, and I'm going to do divided by 5 on both sides. It'll be -4 over 5. So that will be my answer. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.